friends, and welcome to French Fried Trains. Since we have a lot of new subscribers on the channel, today's video is going to be a showcase of all the passenger trains we've ever done. And as you can see, all of the trains we build on this channel have full interiors. So this is the cab of this Amtrak engine, and there's even an engine room back here. But we won't go through all the trains, this will just be a quick showcase. So as you can see, this Amtrak train has a lot of superliners, although this is a very old, outdated build. And if you see a train you like, every single one of the trains I'm showing in this video today have full tutorials for every car up on the channel. So scroll back through my channel if you see a train you like. Most of them have their own playlists. Also, if you have a train you want to request to be built, I take requests during the first week of every month. So this train also has some AM fleets on the back here, which are also an outdated build, as this is one of the first passenger trains we did. There's a baggage car on the back here, and an old 90s Pepsi can Dash 8 on the back. Our next train here is the City of New Orleans. And this one has 3 locomotives, an A unit, a B unit, and another A unit. And then there's some regular passenger cars and some dome cars on this. After that train, we have the Cno Pier Marquette here, and that one has an A unit and a B unit for locomotives. There's an RPO car, and all kinds of passenger cars here. This one is another fairly long one. In the back of the train has this observation car. Next up here, we have the Amtrak Piedmont train. So we have the locomotive here, and then a bunch of passenger cars. And then this last car is the snack car. And then we have another locomotive on the rear end. Behind that here, we have the Florida Tri-Rail with an F40 PH on the front, and we have these Bombardier bi-level coach cars on it. And there's a bunch of these. We also have the Rotom bi-level coach car here, and its cab car counterpart, which has a streamlined cab on the end here. Next up, we have the coaster train, one of my favorite color schemes. And this one also has Bombardier bi-level coaches on it. And then there's another locomotive on the back here. Then we have our updated build for an Amtrak train. So there's the locomotive and the baggage car. And we have some new updated AM fleets here. And this last AM fleet is the diner car with the kitchen. And then we also have new builds for superliners here. There's the observation car, and we pretty much have every different superliner type you can imagine on this train. The next train is the Trinity Railway Express here. There's the locomotive, and this train also uses Bombardier bi-level coach cars here. And then there's a second locomotive at the back. Next up, we have the Chicago Metra with the classic F40PH on the front here, and also the newer MP36. And then we have a bunch of bi-level coach cars on here. And the one on the back is the cab car, which has a fully detailed cab on the inside as well. And the next train is our Go train here. And yet again, this one also uses Bombardier bi-level coach cars. So there's a bunch of those. And we've added the new Series 10 cab car on the back end here. And this one also has a streamlined cab. And next up, we have a different coaster train in the modern paint scheme. And this one is led by two SC44 Charger locomotives. And same as before, this one also is running with Bombardier bi-level coaches. And then, of course, the last car here is a cab car. And then next up, we have another Charger locomotive on the Amtrak Cascades here. And then there's a transition car here. And a whole bunch of passenger cars. And then on the rear end here, we have the Telgo Cab Car, which is fairly unique looking. Behind that train here, we have the Altima Corridor Express. And here's its locomotive. And this is another train running with Bombardier bi-level coaches. And then on the rear end, this one has a Charger locomotive. Then our next train is the Pacific Surfliner here, which is a specialized Amtrak train that runs in California. And this one uses superliners with a different paint scheme here. So we have a bunch of superliners on this one. And then at the rear end here, there's a Charger locomotive, and this one has this aerodynamic piece at the back, which makes it different than the other Chargers that we've shown. So that's the rear end of this one here. So that was after my world got too big and crashed, and we had to move to a new world. So our next train here is the Shinkansen bullet train. And I was quite proud of this one as well. So there's a bunch of cars on this one. And this one has its pantographs at mid-train here. And then moving down, it's just the same thing going in the opposite direction. A bunch of passenger cars here. And another power car down here. Moving over, our next train here is the Brightline which uses a charger with a different, more streamlined front. And it looks like this. And they're also using Siemens passenger cars, and they have a fairly complex paint scheme here. And this one's pretty much the same thing going forward. And there's another charger down at this end. Next up is the Amtrak Asala Express here, America's bullet train. So here's the power car with its pantograph and electrical equipment on top. And then a bunch of passenger cars here. And then, of course, there's another power car at this end here. Moving over here, we have the rear end of our North Star passenger train. And there's a cab car at the back here. And this is another train using Bombardier bi-level coaches. And there's a very colorful locomotive on the front of this one. And over here, we have the Sprinter DMUs, which is a light rail which interconnects with the coaster train. And it's pretty much just two of the same thing back to back here. Next up here, we have the locomotive for our Florida Sunrail train. And this is another colorful train, and yet another train with Bombardier bi-level coaches. And of course, at the back here, we have a cab car. And we also accidentally skipped over one here. Over here, we have some SEPTA Silverliner 4s, which look like this. So that is all the passenger trains we've done on this channel to date. And like I said, there are tutorials up for every single thing shown in this video. And like I said, if you do want to put in a request for a train, I take requests during the first week of the month. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And everyone, have a great week. Stay safe out there, rail fans.